My phone is my bank.
Sampath Mobile Banking. Convenient, easy, saves time. Sampath Bank, we present your future.
Hello there, very good evening and welcome to Primetime News. I'm Sonali Wanikabatke.
And I'm Sandhu Ferdinando, who start off with a look at your headlines.
Election laws will be strictly enforced. A statement from the Elections Commissioner.
About family kirimmakin thorawa police patiwaraya nidida නැත්තම් මැතිවරණ කොමසාරිය නිදිද කියලා Facebook එකේ දානවන්න එපා කියලා.
Sudarshani, Lasanta and Eric give up their deputy ministerial portfolios. Minister Arjuna Ranatunga questions the policies of the UPFA.
සරණ ගුණවර්ධනව අයින් කරා. එතුමාගේ නෝනව දාලා තියෙනවා. සුසිල් ප්‍රේමජයන්තලාගේ මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂලාගේ එක්සත් ජනතා නිදහස් සන්ධානයේ ප්‍රතිපත්ති මොනවද?
Those who use state vehicles need to pay up. Cabinet decides.
With the general elections looming ahead, Elections Commissioner Mahinda Deshapriya convened a press conference to elaborate on the election process.
අපේක්ෂකයන්ගේ වශයෙන් තරඟ කරන හිටපු മന്ത്രിවරුන්ගේ
There is an allegation that the security of former MPs contesting the upcoming polls has been removed. This was not something that was done aimed as one political party or in detest of the former public representatives. This decision was reached during a discussion with the IGP and the senior DIG on the 30th of June 2015. A question was raised as to how processions will be prevented. We told to follow the same procedure that was followed the last time. That is, record the video via camera and not to use weapons and water cannons. The police has been instructed to make attempts to disperse the crowds. If the processions continue to move forward without adhering to police orders, the police must take the photographs. We hope to collect all the information we have received thus far and analyze them over the weekend. We will hand over the material to the police on Monday and ask them to take legal action. There is a request that we need to make from the public. When a wrongdoing is reported, please make a complaint to us and do not publish posts on Facebook asking if the police and the Elections Commissioner are asleep. If we do not act on a complaint that is made, then you may ask a question on what steps were taken. A code of conduct will be published on how a rally needs to be held without causing any harm to children. It is the responsibility of the police to ensure that the examinations are not disrupted by pickets and processions. It was not I who decided on the days of the elections and the examinations.
මොකද විභාගය දින තීරණය කරෙත් මම නෙමෙයි. ඡන්ද දිනේ තීරණය කරෙත් මම නෙමෙයි.
සම්මේලන කරන දිනවල කොරෝනාවට පස්සේ අපේක්ෂකේ ලැබිලා තියෙන ආරක්ෂාව නිසා සාමාන්‍ය ප්‍රශ්නයක් ප්‍රශ්නයක්
අපේක්ෂකෙක් කියලා ඔයාලට හරියට
You could have asked a direct question from me rather than simply using the word candidates.
ඒක කේල් කරනවා කියා මුල්ලවරිය කිව්වා කියලා.
The security that has been provided for the former president will not be curtailed simply because he or she is connected to another event. When nominations are being submitted, all are equal. None can be accompanied by their security officers. If one fears for his safety and if more security needs to be provided, that will be done. As the Elections Commissioner, I do not see that as a violation of one's rights.
අයිතිවාසිකම් කඩවීමක් කියලා.
Well, the trending story of the day is the comment made by the Elections Commissioner. Dhammi Ratnayaka says, leaders like you are important to the forward march of the country. Rules are rules for everyone. That's a view expressed by Mohammed Hazir. Roshan says it's time that the Commissioner of Elections calls the shots and hope he acts now. What are your thoughts? You can follow us on our trilingual Twitter handle on Newsfirst.lk/Twitter and like us on Facebook by logging on to Newsfirst.lk/Facebook to get the latest news updates. Feel free to voice your thoughts with just a click of a button.
A group led by the General Secretary of the United People's Freedom Alliance, Susil Premajayanta, met with the Elections Commissioner today at the Elections Secretariat.
At the meet, Susil Premajayantha had pointed out that certain commissions had summoned UPFA candidates for questioning with regard to several investigations. He had added, as such reports are carried out in the media, it causes an unfair situation for the UPFA candidates. The heads of the UPFA informed the Elections Commissioner that many complaints have been received over the misuse of state property, and under good governance which opposes this, steps need to be taken to prevent the misuse of state property.
A special presidential investigation commission, which was appointed to look into misappropriated public funds from the Ceylon Fisheries Corporation before the recent presidential elections, carried out an investigation today.
The gathering of evidence commenced today at the BMICH, and attention was drawn to the funds that were spent on the opening of a plaque for the proposed Negombo Lagoon development project on the 4th of January 2015. However, reports also surfaced that the funds were utilized for a rally of the former president in Negombo during the presidential election. Investigations are being carried out over 13.2 million rupees that were spent for these two events. Evidence was recorded from the mayor of Negombo and several officials from the Fisheries Corporation. The investigations are continuing. We received a large number of complaints. We published an advertisement at the end of March, and we are conducting investigations on a large number of petitions that we received. Newsfirst contacted former Deputy Minister Sarath Gunawardena over the incident that led to the investigation. We did not know that we will have to appear before an investigation commission when we were summoned. They must allow us to be present without attorneys. I had organized a massive event to welcome the president. It was during the election period. He arrived during that time. I, Sarath Gunawardena, had never swindled a cent from my ministry nor project for the money that was spent for the arrival of the president. The country knows about this, and so does my ministry.
Three deputy ministers today announced they would resign from their portfolios as a marked protest over the stance the president had taken regarding the general elections.
The trio convened a press conference at the office of the opposition leader to announce their resignations.
As per the decision reached by the Central Working Committee of the SLFP, we accepted the positions. Today we decided to step down from our deputy ministerial portfolios and engage in the elections like our fellow candidates. We decided to resign from our portfolios.
We object to the stance he has taken to act impartially during the elections. As the chairman of the SLFP and the UPFA, he has the responsibility to provide leadership to the party and ensure victory. We have no personal issues with him.
I wish to express the disappointment of the SLFP supporters from the Kandy district. As mentioned, we will resign from our portfolios.
The cabinet has reached a decision to charge a monthly fee of 100,000 rupees from politicians who use official vehicles for the promotion of their party or candidature. This was revealed at the cabinet press briefing by Minister Rajitha Senaratne.
The Prime Minister, the Ministers, State Ministers, Deputy Ministers and the officials who use official vehicles for the promotion of their party or candidature must make this payment. They must pay for fuel from their personal money. If helicopters are used, a payment has to be made for that too. There is no special treatment for the former president. Even after retirement, he is referred to as the president. However, he is not the president in this context. He is committed to make payments for every vehicle that he uses because they are official vehicles.
Journalists also raised questions on the statement made by the SLFP that the president does not appoint a prime minister.
Where does it say in the constitution that the MPs decide on the post of prime minister? The prime minister is appointed by the president's powers. The president continues to have the powers of the Central Working Committee.
Welcome back to the news. The Colombo District Court today issued an interim injunction order against the publication of the court report on the Central Bank Treasury bond issue. The order was issued considering a petition filed by Deputy Minister of Justice Sujiva Senasinghe.
The Colombo District Court judge issued this interim injunction order to be in effect until the 23rd of July. COPE commenced an investigation. The Supreme Court also decided that no irregularity had taken place on this matter. We expected the support of COPE in Parliament. We carried out our task at that time. The COPE report has to be published in Parliament with the signatures. However, D.W. Gunasekara used the powers as the chairman of COPE and published a document for political gains.
Speaking at a media briefing today, leader of the People's National United Front for Good Governance, or PNUFGG, Susil Kidelpitiya, made a revelation on the contract to construct the Colombo-Kandy Expressway.
Recently, Ranil Wickramasinghe presented a cabinet paper handing over a contract to construct a section of the Colombo-Kandy Expressway is not the subject of the Prime Minister. This is an investment program carried out by Exim Bank together with ADB. What the previous government did was sign a memorandum of understanding on the construction of the road. So with the appointment of the new government, this MOU becomes invalid. This is not a legally binding document, but the Prime Minister has tabled a cabinet paper saying that the contract should go ahead and hence the responsibility lies with him. This is a contract with no transparency. Through this cabinet paper, he is suggesting that this contract be given to the company without proper tender procedures. This cost 48 billion rupees. This is not good governance.
Rupial billion 48.
At a press conference today, it was revealed that the policy manifesto of the UPFA titled Revive the Country, Commence a New Journey will be made public at the end of this month.
Journalists raised questions on the enjoining order that was issued on the Central Working Committee of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party from convening. The party constitution clearly states that the Central Working Committee must convene under the auspices of the chairman of the party. The secretary must call on for the meeting on the advice by the party chairman. We view the act of obtaining an enjoining order as one that was done with no understanding of this background. Nothing else will be said at this time. Views are also expressed on the treasury bond issue of the central bank.
This is the biggest fraud that was committed in the history of the country. These two had taken place under the government of Ranil Wickramasinghe. The fish that cleans the fish tank is called the scavenger. The person who cleans out the bank is the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the bank cleaner. That is the situation of the country. We accept that there were shortcomings under the previous government before the 8th of January.
Speaking at a public rally, Minister Arjuna Ranatunga commented on the reasons attributed for him to leave the United People's Freedom Alliance.
I do not wish to speak of Susil Premajayantha. The people of Colombo know about the things he did while serving in the Education Ministry more than I do. I met with the President and told him that I do not wish to get to the stage with persons with such names. We are aware that the former organizer of Athanagala, Sarana Gunawardena, was removed. He was replaced by his wife. What are the policies of Susil Premajayantha, Mahinda Rajapaksa and the UPFA? They visit the prisons to obtain the signatures for the nominations of persons who committed murder. Rapists were given nominations. Murderers were given nominations. There are a number of large rogues in there. Yesterday, my brother, the Chief Minister, had gone to visit the Mahanayaka of the Malwada chapter. The Mahanayaka has said that the SLFP had no identity now. The Chief Minister had no response to that. This rally took place in line with the opening of the Gampa District Operations Office at the Mahara Junction.
Addressing a media briefing today, JVP leader Anurukumar Dissanayake commented on the statement made by the President recently.
President Maithripala Sirisena has taken an important step. he has at least made some attempt. We have made an evaluation on that. As much as we support the attempts of Maithripala Sirisena to stand with the due mandate of the people on the 8th of January, we also have an evaluation. Rajapaksa did not only destroy the country, he also destroyed the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. Bar owners from many districts became prominent figures in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. So it became the party of bar owners. The president himself is saying that Arjuna Mahendran should be removed from the central bank over the bond issue. The president's statement certifies that what happened at the central bank was in fact a financial fraud. So it was Ranil Wickremesinghe who from the beginning intervened to protect the accused in this transaction.
එනිසා ගනුදෙනුවේ මුල සිටම රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්මයා මෙම ගනුදෙනුවේ චූදිතයන් ආරක්ෂා කරන්න බැටියතුමා.
Here's a look at some of the views expressed on the political stage ahead of the August 17th parliamentary elections.
The president made a statement recently. This statement should have been made a long time ago. Even though there was a delay in delivering this statement, the people have started to think fresh. President Maithripala Sirisena silently faced all insults and humiliations. Finally, what did he say? Mahinda Rajapaksa lost once and he will not be allowed to win again. The parliamentary elections is the icing of the cake. Mahinda Rajapaksa made the butter cake. The icing was with President Maithripala Sirisena. If we made a butter cake, we will only get the post of opposition leader and not prime minister. They said various things about President Sirisena. We worked intelligently. I told him that he would cut ham on the swine itself. He cut the swine in half.
We asked the party members not to be moved. This is simply a mild breeze. This is nothing more than that.
The president was honest in what he did. When he came to the cabinet meeting, I told him that he bowled a yorker better than Muthaiya Muralidharan. I told him that he was talented than the prime minister.
Meanwhile, a public rally of the Democratic Party took place in Ampara.
They are trying to enter parliament through the back door. They were chased away from Hambantota. They crept into Kurunagal from the back door. They are distributing ethanol and destroying the culture the same way they destroyed Hambantota. They are attempting to be the back row MPs in parliament. They will come into the front row after removing someone. Thereafter there will be a move made on the post of Prime Minister. After that there will be an attempt on President Maithripala Sirisena.
Several party leaders were also present for this rally in Ampara.
Speaking at a party meeting today, Minister of Housing and Samurdhi Sajith Premadasa criticised the role of Mahinda Rajapaksa.
They say that Mahinda Rajapaksa is representing progressive forces. But I want to tell him very clearly that he isn't representing any progressive force, but a destructive force. But I do agree that the rogues who were his allies and stole from the resources of the country received good benefits. Why? Because they dealt with ethanol and drugs in containers. No matter what rubbish anyone says, it is the United National Party that represents the people and has the mighty force of the people.
Minister Premadasa made this statement while addressing a party meeting in the Hellala area in Middeniya today. Several party members in the area were in attendance for the meeting.
Speaking to reporters in Colombo today, Minister of Finance Ravi Karunanayake commented on the attempts made by the opposition to dismantle the economy of the country.
They attempted to make the economy collapse. They prevented us from producing the treasury invoices for 450 billion rupees. Then they tried to prevent us from obtaining a loan at an interest rate of 3.2%. They did various things. They said that state employees were not being paid well. With all this happening, we did not increase the taxes on the people. We presented bills on the casino tax and the mansion tax. They did not allow us to enact them. At this time, we asked that everyone support us in taking the national economy forward.
ඒ නිසා මම මේ අවස්ථාව ඔබ සියලු දෙනා ඉල්ලනවා ආර්ථික යථා තත්ත්වයට ගෙනල්ලා තියෙන අවස්ථාවට කරුණාකර ජාතික ආර්ථික හරියට ගෙනියන්න අපට උදව් කරන්න.
Journalists also questioned as to whether the fuel prices will be reduced.
Our stance is that when the world prices of fuel reduce, we will reduce the prices in the country. It does not seem that the prices will reduce globally. We will not do things seeking votes. We do not like such practices. World gas prices reduced, so we reduce the prices in the country.
United National Party Colombo District candidate S.M. Marika attended a public meeting in the Urugodavatta area.
This ballot is essentially handing over the future of the country. So just look into the heart and say if you can sacrifice your child's future for a kilo of rice, coconut or a kilo of dal. I will not engage in that kind of politics. After the 18th, I will put an end to the politics of malpractices. According to the proposal that I have made, we have made a 5-year plan for Kolonnawa. Within 5 years, we will secure the future of the children in Kolonnawa. An office of the United National Party in the area was also declared open.
Northwestern Provincial Councillor of the SLMC Attorney-at-Law Rizvi Javaharsha, convening a media briefing today, revealed of an injustice caused to him.
Sri Lanka Muslim Congress Nayaka Raufaki Mematumage Anugraha Yatate Ape.
Under the leadership of SLMC leader Rauf Hakim, we signed the nominations list of the United National Party. We signed the nominations at around 8:45 p.m. on the 11th at Sirikota. I signed as candidate number 18. However, on Sunday night, my name was removed from the list and was replaced with the name of Segu Shihabdin, a doctor from Kalavawa, Anuradhapura. This doctor had submitted his nomination under the party of Minister Rishad Badiuddin. Minister Rishad Badiuddin does not even have a Pradesh Sabha member to represent the Kurunegala district. So how can he submit nominations for the Kurunegala district? It is impossible to believe that a strong political party such as the United National Party would commit such an act. We are doubtful whether a large sum of illegal money of Rishad Badiuddin had changed hands.
Still in local news, United National Party Matara district candidate Buddhika Pathirana commented on the shortcomings of the current electoral system.
The 19th Amendment in the Constitution was passed. The 20th Amendment is required for electoral reforms. The current electoral system is difficult for persons from the villages. Sometimes, apart from the wages, persons have to get the pension of their parents to even pump fuel for their vehicles. Why? We do not have the ethanol companies. We do not have illegal businesses. We do not have liquor stores. We do not operate brothels. We do not have guest houses. You, the people, are the strength of our politics. I am for the people and the people are for me. He made this statement at a public rally in Devalamulla, Kirinda.
On to one of our local stories tonight. Former MP Sivashakti Ananda commented on a minister involved in an attack on a court complex being allowed to come forward as a candidate for the general election. He made this statement at an event in Vaunia.
Minister Rishad Badiuddin was behind the attack on the Manor Court. However, today he has come forward as a candidate. Yet, those who attacked the Jaffna District Court continue to remain in remand custody. Is the law different for government ministers who came with the idea of good governance? And is there a separate law for the innocent public? The ministers are deceiving the public. Therefore, the people need to focus on this.
Brand Ambassador of Sports First, Dinesh Deheragota, will be taking part in the Asia Pacific Rally Championship 2015 in Malaysia.
The first leg of the Asia Pacific Rally Championship 2015 will be worked off on the 15th and the 16th of August. Deheragoda's car was shipped off to Malaysia today ahead of the championship. The remaining legs of the Asia Pacific Rally Championship will take place in Japan, China and India.
Well, I have hopes, of course. Every sportsman, everybody has a hope, and I would say that I'm very much prepared than last year with a little bit more driving experience that I have gathered. car is more well prepared. First heard that I had the opportunity of partnering with Sports1st. I mean, it was a little bit unreal for me, and I'm looking forward very much to for this partnership, because Sports1st is a channel that would give us good coverage for myself, for the country.
And that's a wrap of this edition of Primetime News. I'm Sandru Ferdinando.
And I'm Sonali Vanigapadage. Just a reminder, you can follow us on our trilingual Twitter handle on Newsfirst.lk/Twitter, and like us on Facebook by logging on to Newsfirst.lk/Facebook to get the very latest of news updates with just a click of a button. On that note, we wrap up. Good night.